So this is the US dollar Japanese yen analysis for Tuesday 31st of October. Now, what we've seen is what well, it's a triple top essentially. We're starting on this daily time frame. I just wanted to show you something here on the daily time frame for going down to the execution time frame of the hourly. So we've got these red candles here, pretty much indicated on the charts. It should be showed up on the stylus, but I'll just grab the pen. So we had some selling momentum coming around this 114.30. We've got these red candles marked out on the chart, and these were all the way in June and May earlier this year. We have come up there again to this 114.30, posted this pin bar, and we've seen the selling momentum come into the market, as we can see here on the Friday, was it? Yeah, on the no, it was on the Friday there. On Monday, let's just grab the sorry. So we've had the selling come in here on the, let's just get that right. So we've had quite a bit of selling coming here on a Monday. As you can see, pretty large candle, closing near its lows, indicating some strong momentum. We did see the test of this 114.30 here on Friday. We've had the selling. We did close bearish. We did close pretty much at the candle's lows, indicating that there were some strong selling momentum, and we've seen the continuation on Monday. We didn't see a relief rally. We didn't see much of a reaction in around this 13.56. We'll have a look how much of a reaction we did get around 13.56 on Monday. But as we can see, we've got strong bearish momentum coming to the market, so I suppose it'd probably be appropriate now to put another bearish arrow on this chart. So just bear with me a second. I'm just going to move it to just above this candle. So as you can see there, we've had selling around this 14.30, and the selling momentum has come around this 14.30 again. Currently we've sold off from initially testing it on Friday. We have seen a pretty much over 130 pip move, which is a pretty strong move in light of the overall trend being to the upside. The primary trend has been to the upside. We've had a bit of bull flag pullback down from this down towards this 200 period average, had a bounce to test this 14.30 level, and we've seen a bit of a strong sell-off from this 14.30 level. Now we do have the Bank of Japan. They do have an interest rate decision to make here on 31st, and they also have a press conference. So to an extent, there has been a strength in the Japanese economy. I don't think they're going to be as dovish as they have been in the past. So if they're not as dovish as they've been in the past, we could see further continuation to the downside. So we look for downside targets on the hourly chart before we come back up to the higher time frames. So we'll just first have a look at the hourly chart, see where we are. So here on these hourly charts, again, we can see over here, we did have the test of, we did trade beyond this 14.30, not by much anyway, all the way up to 114.45, but that was based on the news catalyst of the strong US GDP. As you can see, we did not close above the 114.30 level here on the execution time frame. It did not hold. We did have a strong wick to the upside. The very next candle after which we did close bearish, which after retesting this 114.30, as you can see here, we tested a 114.30 exactly on the the candle which opened at 2 p.m. indicating the level strength. And 114.30 again, it has been tested several times on the 27th. We're not able to hold it. We weren't even able to hold it on a strong catalyst being the US GDP, and we've seen the further selling momentum come to the market. So we did come down to 14.30. We did see a bit of a reaction around this 14.30. Had 4 hours. We had 4 hours of bullish price momentum off this 14.30. Not 14.30. Sorry, 13.56. Let's just get this right. We've had 4 bullish candles off this 13.56 after selling from 14.30. Now, again, we've come back down to this 13.56, and we've seen a further selling momentum coming to the market. We have broken from that level pretty strongly. Strong bearish candle closing near the lows, very sizable candle, also taking out the 200 period average, which will likely have been acting as a confluence as a dynamic level of support in around this 113.56. Now, prices are heading downwards. We've already mentioned the Bank of Japan press conference and interest rate decision. So let's just imagine we were to do the analysis as we normally would. We're expecting prices to go all the way down to 112.77 to see how prices react. So we could come down to this 112.77. We've also got to be aware of this 400 period average here, so in around this zone. So 112.77, we could potentially see a bounce before we retest this 13.56. Beyond which, if we do take out 13.56, we might consolidate before going on to retest this very significant level in around this 114.30. Now, if we were not able to hold this 112.77, it is pretty close. We're looking for this very strong level in around this 12.52. Now, as we do have the fundamental catalyst coming out in regards to the Japanese yen, we have to look at the far, would say the far end of each range really. So as we're trading around this 113 level, we could, depend on the strength of the catalyst, we could potentially see. We also have some US dollar news out this week. I think there's an FOMC statement. So I suppose the market participants will. Well, I don't think you'd have much weighting, to be honest, unless there is some trinkets in there. But because everyone's not expecting a rate rise until December, so it just depends what they pretty much what the FOMC's thinking is in regards to the US economy. I think also this week they're going to choose a new Fed governor as well, so that should shake markets a bit. So the far end of the range, again, we're up at 113. So the very far end of the range is pretty clear. It's all the way down to this 1160 region. Before we get all the way down there, we'd have to see how prices do react around this 112.52. And depending on the fundamental catalyst, 112.52, as we are pretty close to it now, 50 pips on the US dollar Japanese yen's, nothing really. So from this 113 level, we could look at this 112.15, this weekly pivot, to see if prices do come down to this weekly pivot for moving up to retest this 112.52 before we see further selling momentum take us all the way down to this 111.60. Now, if we do see a further recovery from 112.15, again, we'll have to wait to see how price reacts to this 112.77 before we trade it all the way down to in and around this 11.60 zone. If, however, the fundamental catalyst is determined as being a bit slightly bearish for the Japanese yen, we likely see prices will come down to because what prices sometimes do, especially in around news events, is prices trade down towards a very significant level, probably consolidate, or they'll spike down to a level before making the move, whether it's to the upside or the break to the downside. So we'll definitely expect prices to possibly come down to 12.52 before the news event, or on a spike of the news event. We'll likely see a test of it. If we see a break, it depends on how the news event is interpreted. Now, to the upside, again, the levels are pretty clear. 13.56, so close that we wouldn't expect much of a reaction beyond there. But the very next level, again, is at 114.30, beyond which we're looking at 114.74. We might see some resistance, so we could see a potential pullback from 114.74 and to retest this 114.30 before we possibly have a move upwards towards that 115.37 if the fundamentals this week are supportive of the US dollar and are bearish in nature towards the Japanese yen. So we're just going to have a quick look at the higher time frames. Just quickly, we've already had a look at the daily, but we might just have another look at the daily. So on this weekly time frame, you can see here we've had it's a horrible trend, to be honest. It's not really trending. It's a case of let's grab the pen. We've had our highs here. We've now had a bit of a bull flag pullback continuation. Instead, we've had a move to the downside, punctuated by shallow recoveries, higher lows. We've had a series of lower lows, higher highs, and it's just been a horrible currency pair to trade really over the long term, unless you are pretty nimble in getting in and getting out. But the most recent trend, again, we found support in around this 107.32, and we've had a recovery, had a bit of a bull flag pullback towards the 200 period average, had this breakout candle here, which is an indicator of a continuation. This bullish candle closing near its highs. Now we have had a let's just get this chart cleared up. We have had a, if you just zoom in on this chart, on this weekly chart, we have had a bit of a I suppose due to the size of the wick on the lower end of the bar, you couldn't say it is a pin bar, but it's slightly a bit of a doji, close to a pin bar. Here that we have got the red candle above, form in and around that very significant level of 114.30. So far this week we are in pretty strong bearish territory. On Monday we did see a lot of selling momentum, and we are currently trading near the candles lows. So if the fundamental catalyst of the Japanese yen is a bullish yen, we could see further selling all the way down to 20 period moving average. Currently 20 period moving average sitting at is that 111.93? Is it? It should be around 111.93 actually. Yes, the 200 period moving average. Sorry, the 200 period moving average is sitting at 11.93. Beyond which we've got a 20 period moving average sitting at 11.40. Before we get down to 11.40, we've got a significant level of 11.60. So we do have quite a few levels of supportive prices, but we do if we do see continuation, those are levels we're looking to see a possible bounce, a small recovery before further continuation, depending on how the US catalysts are interpreted and viewed by the market. But we might see a bit of repricing in regards to the US dollar before the likely interest rate decision in December. So we're just going to have a quick look at the daily time frame, see where we are. So let's scale on here, correct. So again, on the daily time frame, we've already had a look. We've had a bit of a triple top at present, and we've had Monday, we've had further continuation, candle close near the lows. So we're looking for where prices we may see a bounce. We've already had a look at 12.52. Here we've got the 20 period moving average currently sitting at 12.90. So it's in around 17 pips away. We'll see our price react around that 20 period moving average. I don't expect to see much reaction, as we are expecting a strong fundamental catalyst during the Japanese session. So we do have the 200 period moving average sitting around 11.72, just down here. Below that we've got 11.60, so we could see a bit of a recovery, a bit of a dead cat bounce off that 11 in around that 11.60 level. But we'll have to just wait to see how prices trade. But overall, we do seem to have a shift in momentum, and we do seem to be heading downwards. So we have to look for a possible downside target in light of the triple top in around that very significant level around 14.30. So that should wrap up the US dollar Japanese yen analysis. So before I go, LCS, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching.